It's versus.
Yep, that's what it is, man. It's your boy KV.
It's Daryl.
Yeah, man. Welcome back to another episode of K&D Sports. Man, today is about to be a fun episode.
Like I said, it's versus.
Today, we simply just going to be talking about who's the better player. That's it.
Got some interesting
We got some interesting players.
Players that you guys wouldn't even say.
Think of. Yo, I'm telling you, this is about to be interesting. Y'all stay tuned, bro.
It ain't even Kobe versus LeBron.
Nah.
Nope.
Just wait.
We ain't even talking about him.
We ain't even talking about him. Y'all just wait.
Let's get it.
Y'all just wait. Let's do it.
So this first versus is definitely, different.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless you really pay attention to basketball in the early 2000s, like, you're not really gonna know much about these people. But Jason Kidd and Steve Nash, point guard guys.
Yes. Both great playmakers.
No disrespect, white boys.
That's what I was thinking all the time, man. Like,
even though, Steve Nash is from Canada and Jason Kidd is actually half black, but
yeah. But the crazy thing about Jason Kidd is that, like, I read a book on him, and he used to play with like grown men, like at a younger age.
If you look at Jason Kidd, and I think like in high school or something, he looks like Lonzo.
I have to look that picture up.
He looks like Lonzo Ball.
I have to look that picture up.
But if you was watching basketball in the early 2010s, I guess you could say, you probably would see old Jason Kidd. But Jason Kidd, when he was young, was number one.
Like
he had, the quick little handle.
Yeah.
He was a little athletic. He was in the he's and the highs. Jason Kidd, go look up highlight tape.
Yeah. And if you look at Steve Nash, he was very just
unimpressive.
How is he unimpressive? For one, not only did he play basketball, he played soccer first. He played soccer first, and then he started playing basketball. Everything that he gathered from soccer was how he started playing basketball. And he became one of the best point guards in the NBA. 2 MVPs. Granted, he didn't win a championship.
First of all, he shouldn't even have 2 MVPs. One of those should have went to Shaq, and one of them should have went to Kobe.
You can't take away from his greatness, though.
I will say that Steve Nash, with the Suns, they had the best record in the West. But they never made it to the finals.
That's true.
He was winning MVPs, but losing to the Spurs.
But can we argue that Jason Kidd, at the end of his career, that's when he went to the finals?
Jason Kidd went to the finals 2 years in a row with the New Jersey Nets.
But I'm going to say he won a finals.
The Lakers and against the Spurs. And, if you look at Jason Kidd's roster with the Nets, first of all, whoever's watching this, you're probably not going to recognize the names unless, you're a real
basketball
fan.
Vince Carter is normal for everybody, but like Richard Jefferson,
Vince Carter was on those finals teams.
He wasn't? I thought he was.
That was strictly J. Kidd. Put some respect on my man's name.
That's what.
Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, Kenyon Martin, Keith Van Horn. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember Keith Van Horn. That's the dude I was thinking of.
Now, Steve Nash, he had Amari.
Yeah.
He had Sean Marion.
Mm-hmm.
He had Quint Richardson, who was shooting threes all day. They even had Joe Johnson one year.
I remember that.
That was the first. They should have went to the finals that year. But they had a squad, and they had D'Antoni, who had them.
The coach
had them running the best offense in the league. So, to me, Steve Nash underachieved, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Considering from about 2004 to
2006,
10, you could make a case that Phoenix should have been competing.
They could have been. They should have been competing a lot harder than what they were. I will say that.
Like, they would get to the conference finals and lose.
Yeah. Wasn't it the Lakers that was always in their way?
Nah. It was the Spurs.
Spurs was always like that.
was the Spurs that was taking the Suns down. But Jason Kidd is better because he won the championship. He's been to the finals twice. Even though he lost, he's been twice. Well, 3 times. He won the last one. He got Dirk. Well, Dirk got the title, but Jason Kidd was the
Jason Terry got that title.
Jason Kidd was the leadership on that squad, running the offense, you know, shooting the threes, you know, doing what needs to be done. So I'm personally gonna take J Kidd.
Speaking of shooting threes, I just came up with this one, and this is off topic. I mean, it's not off topic, but this is just random. Since we talking about shooting threes, I just came up with this. Who's better, Reggie Miller or Ray Allen?
Reggie.
You think so?
Yeah.
I gotta go with Ray.
Reggie was the leader of the team, and they went to the finals, and they was competing against Jordan.
That's true.
And they almost took Jordan down. They took him to a game 7.
That was an interesting year after watching the Last Dance. That was very interesting.
Plus, Reggie was the career leader in 3-pointers.
Then
before Ray Allen passed him.
Then Ray Allen passed him.
In an era where people weren't shooting threes, what would Reggie Miller be doing today?
Shooting threes.
How much better would his stats look today?
Probably a lot better.
Did in the
I just prefer Ray Allen because, I mean, not before he was shooting threes, he was just, you know, he was a great player.
He was, but most people remember Ray Allen, the spot-up shooter.
Yeah. But overall,
it wasn't transition.
Yeah. Because for one, I think he was in the dunk contest one year.
Ray Allen was a killer, period. He got game, you know, he was really hooping.
Right.
Like, he was really that nice.
Jesus.
He was really that nice.
Yeah, he was. That dude was nice.
He was killer.
Yeah, man. And who was the other guy that we had said?
Between...
Oh, yeah. AI and T-Mac.
Interesting. That's a good one.
I'm taking T-Mac all day.
Taking T-Mac?
I'm taking T-Mac.
I gotta agree with you, though.
I'm taking T-Mac. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Allen, but I just prefer T-Mac. T-Mac was just...
a dog.
And like
killer.
I'm trying to tell you.
Assassin.
That's it. And even Kobe said, man, had they been on the same team, Kobe wished that he was on his team.
It's an era that most people don't know about, as far as like one of the best players from an era that most don't really know about.
Nah.
Tracy McGrady, without those injuries, we're talking Kobe, T-Mac, LeBron. Like, he's in that same
T-Mac
conversation.
like that.
No.
That thing is the same height as LeBron. He's exactly the same. He's 6'8". And then not only that, he could play point.
Yeah.
He could run point.
Legitimately.
And not to take anything, I love Allen Iverson. Not saying he's a bad player at all. He's a great player. I think the thing they both have in common is, for one, they don't have a championship. I think that's what makes this so interesting, because they don't have a championship.
Yeah, I went to the finals though.
And so did T-Mac. But in 2013,
that don't count.
Yeah. He didn't lead it. He didn't lead the Spurs, so he was on the bench. But AI, he got to the finals. But I think we all knew that he wasn't going to win.
Their careers both ended the same uninspiring way.
Yeah.
Like, they just was there one day, and then they weren't.
Yeah, basically.
For different reasons.
For big different reasons. It was almost like, for Allen Iverson, I feel like for him it was very unfair. Because I feel like the league retired him before he did.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was very funny when he came out and said, I'm retiring. I'm like, dude, the league retired you 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it was disrespectful, and it was just like, kind of like you said, just uninspired. Because Allen Iverson will go down as one of the players who changed the game.
Yeah.
Who changed the game of basketball.
I mean, you could say that some of the restrictions that they had on the dress
code was definitely because of him.
Came from him, even though they've relaxed it. Well, I don't know if they relaxed it or if like players just said, you know, we're gonna do whatever we want.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Because at one point, it seemed like all the players was following him with his little cultural thing with the clothes, and then they made it a strict thing of like you gotta come in here with suits. And then now it's just like they wearing whatever.
They wear whatever. Like some people come in with shorts.
Yeah.
On. Some people wear basketball jerseys. Some wear like Russell Westbrook.
I was gonna say, do you think he did it?
What?
Like he kind of changed it? Like,
Fashion?
Yeah. Or he had.
I'll say that.
I feel like him and D-Wade.
I feel like it ended up becoming like a competition amongst them.
Yeah.
Who has the best outfits?
Who has the best outfit?
Harden, Westbrook, D-Wade.
I wouldn't say LeBron, but
I mean, LeBron, he's sometimes, but he's more like the shoe dude.
yeah, he's definitely the shoe dude.
Yeah. They like crazy outfits. Like top hat. Oh, Melo. Melo has sleek style. It's chiller, but it's flashy in its own way.
So who would you say out of those people have like who dresses the best? Melo?
Cause like his looks be like sophisticated, but like stylish.
I can agree with that.
And like old school gangster mob style. Like he's part of the mob. Interesting, right?
That's kind of, it's interesting. I can agree with that to an extent. Yeah, I can agree with that to an extent. But back to this Allen Iverson T-Mac thing. Oh man, but yeah, I'm taking T-Mac. I'm taking T-Mac. Allen Iverson's a great player, but I'm taking T-Mac. I love Allen Iverson's crossover, and that's the thing. I love like how I feel like he really evolved just like the whole crossing people up thing, bro. Mm-hmm. And then he gave birth to people like Jay Crossover. Mm-hmm. And then he came across people like Lou Will.
Hey.
Now who you think is better here?
Jamal Crawford and Lou Will?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Because Jamal Crawford is like saucy with it. He gonna dance on you, he gonna pull up from 3, he gonna take you to the rim, hit the shake and bake. Lou Will is just gonna irritate you all night.
Pretty much.
Like he gonna irritate you. Like he gonna try and get fouls. He gonna pull up on you in the mid range. He gonna hit you with a cross. Oh no. They both got multiple 6-man awards.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, as far as like 6-man, like I think
I'd go with.
And then they both played on the same team, I think. On the Clippers. Or they both played for the Clippers.
They both played for the Clippers.
And then,
but I'll say Lou Will is doing it at a more efficient rate.
I can definitely say that. Because it's like, we see Jamal Crawford only when he's doing crossovers. Most of the time. Like we mention him. Most of the time we mention him when he's doing crossovers. Like with the Clippers, well, the biggest reason why his name was like very like popular, not only because 6-man, but because he kept crossing everybody. I think it was maybe 2011 or 2012 that he was crossing everybody. Mm-hmm. He was crossing everybody. Or it might have been 2013. Mm-hmm. He was crossing everybody up. Like I remember like the one versus the Heat where he crossed Ray Allen.
I remember NBA TV back in the day, they called, I forgot what they called him, but it was, who did the plays on Stevie Smith's plays under the rim? Mm-hmm. Or whatever, and it would always be like some saucy,
right?
You know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to watch that. And then the one he did on Wesley Matthews.
Oh, that's.
Cause it was like, Wesley Matthews over.
He walked away talking about some.
Yeah.
What? And then he whoop, got him again.
Man, that's crazy.
But I'd go with Lou Will.
You go with Lou Will?
In terms of like who gonna score. Like if I want to be entertained, I'm going with Crawford.
I can agree with that. I'm just gonna take Jamal because that's just my guy.
He's definitely my 6-man on 2K.
He's my 6-man. Jamal's my 6-man. Definitely. And you got people who can cross. You got 6-man. Then you got pretty decent role players. And then you got duo people. You know, like Michael had Pippen and LeBron had Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who would you say is the best like wingman? Would you say it's Wade or Pippen?
You can make a legitimate argument about this, even though people would say it's Pippen. He has 6 championships.
Right.
But like Dwayne Wade, I feel like is literally responsible for what happened with LeBron post
Definitely
2011.
can agree with that.
Because it's like, first of all, Wade instilled in him or showed him how to win a championship.
He did.
Or whatever. Like, after they lost to the Mavericks or whatever, he said, yo, you gotta step up and you gotta be the dog.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be a killer.
He did.
Or whatever.
Cause he told him, he said, we're gonna take that step back. You gotta
you gotta lead. You gotta lead us.
Yeah, it's your team now, bro.
And then like they came and they won the titles. They won 2. I mean, they went to 4. They lost 2, won 2. But I mean, Wade is literally responsible for LeBron going to the next level.
That's true.
So
then we can say the same thing about Michael and Pippen.
But Pippen didn't really elevate Jordan. Like, Jordan was gonna be Jordan regardless.
But would you say Jordan would have won 6 championships?
I don't know if Jordan would have won 6 championships. I don't know if Jordan would have won 1 championship based on how things were going. But Jordan still was averaging what he was averaging. He still was doing what he was doing. Like, LeBron literally just couldn't mentally do it. Jordan had it mentally. Pippen just had to come on the court and, you know, do some dirty work.
Pretty much.
That Jordan didn't want to do. So,
you know, that's just very interesting. It's just like, I can compare their stories to a sense. It's like, though Michael didn't leave, he got that extra help. But LeBron left somebody. He went to another team and got help though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So even though Pippen, he came and he helped them, and then it's like, that's when they started to really flourish. Versus like, you know, LeBron going to the Heat, and then that's when they flourished. Mm-hmm. So I'm not so much saying that Michael was elevated by Pippen, but he was definitely helped. I think they both played a big part as like helping them get to the next level.
Definitely.
Because I mean, I'm looking at it as like, just from watching like The Last Dance, they looked at the way looking at the way Michael was playing, him and LeBron basically almost had kind of the same come up. In a sense.
Losing to your team, or whatever, and then finally getting over.
Exactly. And then
winning the title.
And just their styles like coming in, you know, just like, oh, they're the next big thing. And then when that extra help comes, that's when they like start to elevate and get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Pippen got drafted and went to the Bulls, and then like, you know, when LeBron went to the Heat, that's when you saw them actually become champions. But here's the thing, like, nobody can win without help.
Certainly not.
Nobody can win without help. So it's dumb to even say that like oh, he's better than him because he did it like without this person. No. You can't. You gotta have a team around you to win. Because it wasn't just Kobe and Shaq. He had a whole team. You had Fish. You had Rick. What else did they have?
Horace Grant.
Nick Van Exel.
Yeah, Ron Harper.
Robert Horry. A whole team, yo. Like, you gotta have a team. And then, like, if y'all watched the last episode, we talked about LeBron in Miami. He wouldn't have won those championships. He wouldn't have won the 2012 championship if it wasn't for 2013. Was it 2012 championship if it wasn't for Shane Battier and Mike Miller?
Yeah.
Because Mike Miller and Shane Battier, they took the whole game over.
Splashing threes.
They took the whole game over.
Splashing threes.
Straight up. Like, that's just my opinion on that. So, but as far as like Dwayne Wade and Pippen, I would go with Wade.
Wade as the wingman?
Yeah.
That's a solid pick.
I'm gonna go with Wade.
I'm gonna go with Pippen because he got 6.
Alright, fine. Go with Pippen.
got 6.
Yeah, he got 6. Shucks. But didn't you say Paul Pierce was an uninteresting player?
Okay, Paul Pierce needs some respect on his name, but he's just the most uninteresting, like, star of all time.
So when you put him up against a player like, let's say, Vince Carter, you're gonna pick him as the better player?
Yeah. Honestly, because Vince Carter had the flash or whatever, but like Paul Pierce has the success,
And the fun.
he has the points, he has the Finals MVP,
And the shot.
he has. I mean, I don't know if they like each other, but I'm pretty sure he has the respect of LeBron because they was going at it, like at it. Out of all the players, like I feel like if Paul Pierce would have played more of his prime against LeBron in his prime, I feel like you'd have some interesting outcomes or whatever that most people wouldn't expect. But it's like Paul Pierce, 20-some thousand points in the league.
That's true. I think we need to narrow it down a little bit to like who's like, so the better player is obviously Pierce, but who had a greater impact?
Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Still.
Well,
He won the championship.
well, yeah.
Finals MVP.
I'll take it back. Who had a bigger impact on their city?
Paul Pierce.
Vince, man. Because
How?
he put Canada on the map, y'all.
Nah, man.
He
Look,
put
listen,
Canada on
Listen,
the map.
he may have put them on the map initially, but DeMar DeRozan is the greatest player in Toronto Raptor
You think
history.
so?
Either him or Kyle Lowry, and then Kawhi
Yeah.
put them in the title. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who did better things for longer periods of times and greater things than Vince Carter did for Toronto.
I can agree with that to an extent.
Like, Vince Carter, he should have been better.
He should have been a lot better.
He should have been better.
He should have
Even
been a
as
lot
good as he was, like, he could have been better.
He was just I just love him because, you know, his like, he was electrifying.
Like, he's a poor man's Kobe. A poor man's Kobe. Poor.
I can agree with that.
At his height, Vince Carter could do some things, but he just, it's like he didn't
I'll
care.
never forget how he dunked clean over that dude in that USA game.
I won't say he didn't care. He got hurt.
Yeah, he got
That's
hurt.
honestly what happened.
And then he just played until he was 40. 42, I think. 43.
I think, I don't know.
Somewhere around there.
He was old.
Yeah.
In his 40s.
Then we got 2 more.
What's up?
Was it Kawhi and PG?
That's not really a debate to have just off of success that they've had in the league. But if we're talking just about the player. It's for flash purposes, I'd pick Paul George.
Paul George, of course.
For flash purposes. If I want to win, history says I gotta pick Kawhi.
I'm
So,
picking Kawhi.
I gotta go with Kawhi.
I'm picking Kawhi. Simply
Pick on
because,
Kawhi.
like, he's fundamental. He's
Mhm.
very fundamental. Like, he'll cross
He's
you.
a winner.
Yeah, and he's a winner. Paul George, I love his shot. I think he has a great shot and everything. I feel like the biggest thing that his thing was just the injury.
I find it funny now that Kawhi is on his 3rd team and he has potential to win a 3rd championship. Because, like, what LeBron, I guess, was trying to do in having something that no one else had, Kawhi's going to do it in less time.
Yeah. And now that they both on the same team.
In the same city?
Yeah. I'm talking about Paul George and Kawhi.
Oh! Okay.
Yeah, they on the same team, so that'll be interesting. That's very interesting that we brought that up and they on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
even though before, they were supposed to be on the same team with the Pacers.
Yeah.
But they traded George Hill to the Spurs for Kawhi. They traded George Hill to the Pacers for Kawhi.
I love the 2014 Paul George or the 2013 Paul George. The Paul George that didn't have Danny Granger. No, I enjoyed that one. That's the Paul George I like. Like during the Eastern Conference Finals.
Shout out to Danny Granger.
Danny Granger, that's an interesting topic. Danny Granger or Carmelo?
No! That's the end of the episode. Because that was so disrespectful. Yo. I can't believe you just said that. Did you really just say that? This is our first walk-off. I can't believe you just said that. Yeah. That's not even... Oh, my God.
Oh, man. That was blasphemy, guys. I was just saying it to see what he was going to do. Because he knows how I feel about Melo. So I just wanted to get him murked up again. Make Daryl bad. Part 2.
I'm weak.
But yeah, our last one that we're going to talk about is Kyrie versus Steph.
Kyrie.
I'm taking Steph.
Hey, man.
North Carolina native, so.
Let's put them on separate teams from what they've been on and let's see who's going to win.
I mean, I just feel like it'd be Steph.
You can say that Steph is going to give Kyrie to work, but don't disrespect Kyrie.
I'm not disrespecting Kyrie at all.
Kyrie will kill anybody.
He will. Kyrie's definitely a killer. No, hands down, he's definitely a killer.
And they kind of do, well, they don't do the same things, but I like Kyrie's offensive game better because he can do the threes, but like he can take you to the rim.
Yeah.
He can post you up. He can do the mid-range game. He's got no offensive weakness.
Right. I mean, you can kind of argue the same thing about Steph.
I feel like once you get Steph outside his rhythm, he's off.
Cause I mean, but my thing is like
his shot isn't gonna fall.
He can almost do pretty much the same thing as Kyrie can do because he can get to the rim.
They basically are the same.
They basically the same player. And here's the thing: a lot of people don't know. Steph got hot. Steph got bounce. He just don't show.
Man, forget both. Let's not even talk about bounce because neither one of them is going to dunk on anybody.
That's true. That's true. But I'm just saying, Steph got bounce though.
We need to put some more respect on Damian Lillard's name.
Damian Lillard is definitely somebody
right there with them.
Damian Lillard is definitely somebody who is underrated.
Right there with them.
Cause it's like you got Steph, you got Kyrie, and then it's like you just got Dame.
He's taking his teams to playoffs.
Yeah.
Often.
Very often. And he'll get his name. His name is coming up though.
It is.
His name is definitely coming up.
It's slow though.
Very slow. But speaking of Dame, it's just the fact of he's not gonna leave Portland.
I hope he do.
He said he's not.
I hope he does.
He said he's not. He said he's gonna stay on the team.
Just so you know, he can have a chance to get out there and have his name out there, but also so he can win a championship.
But who would you put him on?
The Lakers.
Of course. Why do they even ask that? I mean, my favorite point guard is Kemba Walker. Only because he played for my team. Buzz City, baby. That's just me. Kemba Walker's my favorite.
Lakers. And
him and Kyrie were in the same draft class. But and that's another thing. I feel like Kemba is just like slightly under him.
Who?
Kyrie. And the only reason why he wasn't getting recognized because he was playing for my trash team. But now that he's on Boston, I feel like he'll
still ain't hearing nothing about him.
He's still hearing nothing about Kemba.
Who?
He coming up.
We'll see.
He coming up, bro. Trust me.
We'll see.
He gonna be on the come up. But yeah, man, that was a fun episode.
You had to go there at the end.
Man, you'll be alright, bro.
He had to go there at the
He'll
end.
be alright.
The Melo slander continues.
Man, he don't have a championship.
It's been a great episode. We'll see you guys next time on K&D Sports. It's Katie McKinley and Daryl. Peace.